Welcome back, everyone. It's your boy C-Rock, Mike C-Rock on the What Are You Made Of podcast. And we are coming to you today. I think the date's like March 23rd. And we're in the midst of some very, very challenging things going on, uncertain things going on. But we're here to try to help and maybe provide some kind of certainty and control in your life, maybe. But I have the awesome and talented Elena Cardone with me today. And she is going to tell us what she's made of. And before she does get into that, I want to give you a little bit of brief bio for those of you that may not have heard of her. She is actually married to Grant Cardone. She's the wife of Grant Cardone, or Grant Cardone's the husband of Elena Cardone, as she likes to say.
Oh, yes.
But she's the woman strong enough to be married to Grant Cardone. She's the mother to Sabrina and Scarlett, who my daughter, Tiny, a.k.a. Sophie, loves to death. She has been credited as the visionary of the empire, authored her book, Build an Empire, How to Have It All. She is the host of the G&E Show and Women in Power. She received #1 on Forbes' top 20 entrepreneurs to follow. She won Global Woman of the Year at the Global Summit. You want me to keep going? She is the creator of Build an Empire.
Good for my ego. I need this today.
10X ladies, guys, 10X ladies, gals, 10X ladies. Look into that. And she is a woman on a mission to help you create your 10X empire, no matter what is going on in the world. Right, Elena?
That's right. That's right. And, with everything going on right now, it's all designed to shrink you in and make you feel small. And literally, like, we're now confined to our homes. So the tendency is to think that you're not as powerful as you really are. And when you list off all those things, it just kind of reinvigorated me. Like, that's right. I do this. I can accomplish this. I'm bigger than a virus. I'm bigger than all of this. So I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad you reminded me of who we really are.
Now, I got to tell you, I don't know that I would be here doing a podcast right now back in the day prior to me getting into the 10X movement, to the 10X army, I call it. Because, sometimes, like, when this stuff would be going on, we'd, go to a bar and drink or do different things, stupid things that were unproductive, what we thought made us feel better. And I want to thank you and Grant and the rest of the team for redirecting my life, my employees' lives, my family's life. My wife came to the 10X Growth Conference and came back a woman on fire, wrote 4 contracts for real estate the first week she got back, and she hasn't stopped working since.
Wow. This is the first one?
Yeah, I had to get her there because I had to show her what it was all about. And so, so listen, the What Are You Made Of movement, guys, WAMO, as we call it, is all about rule number 1, turning every negative, anything that appears negative, setbacks, letdowns, into rocket fuel for your future. And that's what it's all about. And we've all been through a lot before. And this is why we've advanced so much, because of the things we've been through. So Elena, first and foremost, I want to ask you, what are you made of?
Well, times like this really tell, but certainly I'm, in the moments when I'm scared the most, I use discipline to make myself go through a structure of a daily routine of what I can control so that I can get in the habit of building confidence during these times. And I definitely have the willingness and the trit to be ethical, like you said, during these times, and to figure out what I can control. I understand that my role as a powerful woman, if that's what I want to be and become, also includes that others may look to me at times like this, including my husband, to be a beacon of comfort and support and encouragement to him, and to stable the environment. So, I take my role very seriously, and, there is a lot going on with Grant and everyone. I mean, it's everywhere. No one can escape this right now. Anywhere in the world, you cannot escape the severity of the implications of what this thing could lead to, not just on a physical health situation, but the sickness of the overall economy, is at stake here. So, what am I made of? I'm made of, I'm going to commit myself and hold myself accountable to be strength for others while they're figuring it out, to be calm, to be stable, to be uplifting, to try to see the best side of this and figure out how to make my moves and plan out the future so that the rest of the people in my environment can not only survive this but can thrive on the other side of this, you know. And sometimes you have to kind of be willing to make hard choices right now, and do some things that you don't want to do, in order to protect the good of all the ones that are really going to be there for you, when this is all said and done.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. And the thing is that when you're a leader, most people don't want to be a leader because of the responsibility that comes with it, and or they're worried about what people think when you make decisions as a leader, the tough decisions, and that's been evident. And when people's eyes are on you, when you're a leader, it's a lot of responsibility. There's a
A
lot
lot
of
of
pressure involved.
responsibility, and a lot of people at times like this want to play the blame game, and they want to have someone to be angry about because they didn't put themselves in a situation where they could be viable. And sometimes you have to shrink in order to, sometimes you have to retreat in order to rebuild the coffers to come out stronger. It doesn't mean you won't expand later. Sometimes you have to be willing to make a tough call that, you know, it's very difficult to be a leader in those scenarios because, you know, because you do make yourself vulnerable to attacks. You make yourself vulnerable to enemies. You know, do you, I mean, I cannot wait to get on the other side of this so I can talk freely about everything. But there are people out there in the world that, you know, and I don't want to make this a Debbie Downer show, but I'm always transparent. And what I'm going through right now is there are people out there that truly look at this time and want to see us go belly up and want to see us fail. That is not some crazy panic thing that is going on. It's a reality that I have to deal with. And so, you know, I use every ounce of everything I have. Going back to your original question, what am I made of? I have to, everyone has been sucker punched in the gut right now. It's how you continue to pick yourself up. And I am more determined now to make myself even a bigger beast, a bigger monster, stronger,
Let's go.
better, because I cannot wait to give the metaphorical punch in the face to all those people when myself and my team and my staff and my community and the world that is with us on this movement grows bigger and more powerful and more successful, personally, financially, spiritually. I can't wait to, you know, because all those people want to do, they have no products of their own. So their biggest product is trying to hope that they can squash or get happiness out of seeing somebody else fail. And I
Right. Right. And Elena, you guys help so many people, and the mission is about helping people. Money is the product, the byproduct of it. Right. And everybody starts to hate on things. But if people really understood the lives that you guys have impacted and changed from your movement, there'd be a lot less haters, but they just don't know. And see, me knowing it and living it, you know, but see, here's the thing is it's a fine line for me too. I mean, I've been jammed up. I've been stolen from. I've had all those things. I've had people hating on me and wishing the worst. I don't know if it's the right thing. I fight with this all the time. Like I use that as motivation. Like I get fired up like this too. And I think I'm going to jam it right up there. But the thing is, I fight with that sometimes. It's like, is that the right thing to do or think? And I go through phases where I do it. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to show them. I'm going to be a role model and I'm going to show them. And that's how it's going to get back at them. And then we're just going to shine. But do you fight that like that
when you refuse to fail, you know, flourish and prosper is the best revenge, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's purely healthy. And sometimes you use what you can to make you stronger and turn it into the fuel that fires your flame or whatever. And then you find when you get on the other side, because I've found that to be true too, once you get to the place where you're winning so much in life, you truly don't care and want to cause anyone real harm. You just want to care about lifting everybody else up around you, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but on the same um, line, there really isn't anything wrong with delivering an effective blow to an enemy, a real enemy. An enemy, somebody who literally doesn't want to see anyone or anything get better. That's a real enemy. And there are real enemies on this planet that don't want to see people succeed.
Right. Right.
And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being able to be strong enough to deliver an effective blow. And sometimes delivering an effective blow comes literally in the form of delivering an effective blow. And sometimes it comes in the form of being successful and making as many people around you as successful as possible too.
Right.
And that is an effective blow that just happens to have another beneficial reward, which is you get to have pride in yourself.
Yep. I have a feeling that you haven't had your boxing training in a while, and I'm glad to be here for that. You could do that on this show.
Okay, I get a little aggressive. Like
I love it. I
have a joke with my trainer, Javi. I say I train to kill people, so I don't have to kill people.
Hey.
In real life, I've never been. I mean, knock on wood, God bless. I never want to be in a real fight. I have never been in a fight. I never want to. But
I can't say the same. I've had to be. When you get jumped as a kid with 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, and then you got to figure out how to handle yourself. I've done it.
Well, I just hope I never get put in that actual scenario because I've been it for 2 years, and I really think something's wrong with me at this point. It's just not. That does not come naturally to me. But when I am lacking it for a while, that aggression comes out. So tomorrow I'm going to do 33 flights of stairs with my ruck vest to calm down a little bit.
I love it. Let it come through. Hey, listen, what do you think the difference is between this thing right now, the biggest thing that you can see? Because I know there's a lot of unknown right now, but what's the difference between this and 2008? Because the 10X movement, a lot of people don't understand because they haven't studied. I've immersed myself in it. I know a lot came out from 2008. I'm in the mortgage business. So I was there. I went through all that. And a lot of it, what you guys have done came from that. But what do you think so far, what you're seeing right now, the biggest difference between that and now is?
This is biblical. This is of a historic events. We've never seen numbers like this in our lifetime. Like, God, unemployment I don't even want to think about it. This is a whole new level. This is the perfect storm.
Well, let's ask this then. What lessons did you learn in 2008 that you can use in this, since we're talking about what are you made of?
The lessons that I learned from 2008 are don't lose money, protect the empire, surround yourself with people who have the same intentions of yours, be willing to work every single second on yourself to become better. We're set up better this time than we were last time. In terms of reserves of courage and tenacity and knowledge and fortitude with each other. We have such a good foundation right now that we have it's scary, but it's not as scary as the first time, because we've been asked this question so many times. What would you do if you went to zero, if you had no money? And, the only thing I can say is I would get it a lot faster this time. And the reason is because I have courage, because I know what I'm made of, because I have integrity, I have honor, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to self-educate myself, I have discipline, I have, I know who I am. I know that when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So I have self-reliance, which breeds confidence, which is what I didn't have the first time around. I didn't have that the first time around. And the other thing is, when you know who you are and what you're made of, you know that no one can take anything away from you. You can take my money away. You cannot take one of those. That comes with me. No one
let's go.
Can take who I am. And the other thing is I don't need money to make me who I am. It's what you said earlier. Money and trophies are exactly that. They're representations. we live on an economic planet. You use that for financial freedom to make moves to get around. But that can't, that doesn't dictate who I am as a spiritual being. That does not dictate my power, what I can control over my universe.
Yep. Exactly. And you know what? I was just telling my team this the other day. Like, I've been through this stuff and now we have this 10X mindset and that confidence that comes with it, man. I mean, I know this is serious out there and I'm not denying it. I've already acknowledged it. And the other thing from 2008, which allows us to do, you guys and us, is to recognize it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because before you might have denied it a little bit longer and then you got behind the eight ball a little bit. Now, this time, hopefully we caught it a little bit faster than before and got a jump start on damage control or whatever you want to call it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So between husband and wife, as you're going through these things,
Yeah.
give us some things that I mean, listen, there's conflict and then stress, and then you could go at it a lot. And then you have to, you got to apologize to each other because God forbid, I've been a dick the last week or so, sometimes in moments. Okay. And my wife's a saint and she's very strong willed too. She's very aggressive. She's Italian like me. We go through the same things, but yeah. So, I mean, what are some of your tips that you guys do to make sure that you get right back on track? Because look, we're human, we fall off sometimes as we're going through that, but give us some things that you guys focus on to get back on track.
We have meetings and we try to figure out, what are we working for? What do we want to exchange? How can we come back faster to rebuild our community? And that becomes senior. I keep reminding him and myself, I need to go easy on the people around me right now, because everyone, no matter how positive you want to be, and we all are trying to remain positive. I mean, I don't want to set panic. I don't want to go down the zombie apocalypse route either, but we are in uncharted territory. It is unstill, it does feel we're stressed, So at these times, you have to make sure you go easy on your loved ones. Catch yourself when you want to just start bashing them. Take a walk around the house, go into another room. What can you do to take care of yourself? Make sure you get all of your sleep. Make sure you put yourself to bed at a certain time. Grant and I have been going to bed at 9:30 religiously, 9:30, 10, shutting it off, just shutting it off and making sure that this physical body is strong and in strong condition to handle anything, financial immunity and, virus wise. We need to be strong. We're taking our vitamins, we're drinking our water, we're getting our fresh air, we're exercising every day. Like, what can we take care of first and foremost, and then getting our purpose and so together on the same page. Usually during these times, Grant and I come together stronger because we're no longer a threat to each other. We realize we need each other to get through these times. So the pettinesses become a little less. We get back on track faster because, when the attacks start coming, and they do, and they have, I need to be there for him. That's the role I accepted. And that's the role that is my role in this relationship, which is the little cog and the little wheel, which is in everything, the 10X movement. So that's what we do.
Well, and one other thing before I'm going to ask you about your girls, because my daughter absolutely loves your girls, and she's in the other room. I'm going to bring her in. Hey, how are you? Remember, I gave you one of these bracelets when we were at the thing. It said, "What are you made of?" But my daughter wants to say hi to you in a minute. So you going to be around?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get her in a second.
I'll get you. Okay.
One other thing I was going to ask you is, you guys both coach people. You have the 10X ladies, and Grant does his thing. And what I have trouble with turning off sometimes, because I coach my team, I coach what are you made of movement now. I come home and coach my kids, and it's when I come home, I got to figure out a way to balance it. I don't know if there's a better word for balance, but like figure it out. And then do you, when you guys coach each other and you get on each other's nerves, like how do you approach Grant when you need to change something about him, or do you have a method that you use when you have a strong-willed husband or guy that coaches?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I am not going to lie. But I know that challenge, so I just have to, find different ways. Sometimes I do it wrong. Sometimes I come at him with an attack that gets me nowhere. Sometimes it doesn't get me nowhere though. Actually, sometimes he percolates with it, and then I see changes. Sometimes I'm like, hey, let's agree not to just kind of get upset. Let me finish what I'm going to say. Then you say what you're going to say, and I'll let you finish. Don't interrupt me. Let's talk about this. How do you want to handle it? Like there's different ways. Sometimes I'll always make sure he's well rested and well fed though. Those are my two, just like as a woman, like, like I just know my husband, if he's tired or angry, it's going to be more difficult for me.
Right. And then what's the best way to approach you if somebody sees something, and whether it's holding you accountable as a husband or something that they feel like that you need to, maybe you're not seeing, what's the best way to approach you, for example, as a strong woman?
Approach is not the way I get approached, but the best way I like to be approached is, I like the acknowledgments of the rightnesses, and I like acknowledgement of, that. And then I like to segue into, hey, I see this. Is there a way we can improve that? Do you see that there's an out point there? How are you feeling about this? This is what I perceive on the matter. Can this get stronger? Or this part is out. I need you to help, help make this area go up. I don't know how you want to do it. That's your division. You figure it out. But I perceive this little area. Maybe it's the kids are fighting too much. And rather than him accusing me of why that is, or I'm not doing a good enough job as a mother, maybe he can bring it to my attention and say, hey, I've noticed this is going on. Is there something you can come up with that can maybe handle that? And then I can say, you know what? Yeah. Okay, they're bored. I need to give them activities. I need to give them responsibilities or roles in our family and say, you're responsible for this. And I need, give them projects. They need stuff to do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that would be an incredible way of how I would like to be approached. Not like, oh, you're not spending enough time with the kids and they're off fighting and you're off doing whatever. And oh, you're getting your hair done, or you and Bobby are playing all day. Like don't mess with me like that. A, it's not true. And B, don't attack what I'm good at,
yeah, nobody wants to hear that stuff.
No.
Nobody, men or women. So no, we all do it though. Sometimes,
it's just do it. And I know I make mistakes, with Grant too. It's easier for me to say, you should do this and you should do that. And why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? Because I don't have the reality of what he has to go through when he makes the hard calls and has to hammer and, grind it out. It's easy for me to be in the background like, oh yeah, that's what you should do, when he feels sometimes that I don't really have the full understanding of the inner operations of how everything works, and that irritates him. Right. So I kind of have to find my it's balance, we'll call it that. You kind of have to find what really works.
Right. Well, listen, I want to first of all too, before I bring little Tiny in here, I want to thank you very much for coming on today during, under the circumstances. I'm going to keep working. I don't stop working unless they pluck me from this planet. C-Rock's going to be C-Rock. It's just the way it is. And Tiny, want to say hi to Miss Selena? Wave to her. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi now. Go ahead.
Hi.
So are the girls by so she could say hi real quick?
Yeah. Will you go get Scarlett?
And do you have like your 10X ladies right now? Don't you have something going on that people can join? That
I'm doing my 10X Ladies Network again. It's a free networking of 10X women from around the world. I've decided that I'm going to go live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to 10xladies.com/network and join up. You'll get my blogs, my emails, and you'll be reminded of when you can click on to the Zoom to be connected to these women. And the goal is, during these unsettling times, at least we have each other to hold each other accountable. What is our role? What are we to do with our families, our communities, and how can we all get through this and thrive on the other side? So.
And these Zoom calls, guys, if you're not on Zoom calls, some kind of supportive group right now, these have changed everything for us since the 10X mentor calls back in, I think, November they started. We have numerous ones. We're on every night. There's a call that you can get on. If you need a call to get on, besides the 10X ladies one, on any other night, let me know. I can connect you. I'm telling you, it would change your life as we're going through this, especially. And by the way, this is her book. My wife and I have both read it. wanted to be on the same page. And okay, so this is Tiny. Let me put this here. You want to talk to her? Here you go. Okay. Say hi.
Hi.
Say, what are you doing? Tell her, talk to her.
This is Scarlett.
Just so you don't get
Don't be shy.
confused with the other one, because that's happened before.
You don't like being confused with Sabrina?
Did you already forget her name?
No, I
So
did not.
Sabrina.
I just had a little stutter, but I didn't forget my own daughter's name, for the record.
She's actually done it before. She switched her.
Yeah, I switched their names a lot, but just to out Grant, he's forgotten your middle name before, and I've had to remind him.
Oh,
Mhm. Yeah.
that made her day. She's been watching you girls on Instagram, on my Instagram and stuff, and she always like, "Can I send them a video?" And I'm like, I'll try."
Yeah, she's on Instagram, Scarlett Cardone. She,
Okay.
All
right, I'll send her.
on the comments.
Yeah, we'll send your videos over. Okay. All right. She gave a thumbs up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for listening to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy C-Rock. Please go subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and go watch. If you want to watch these, YouTube, Mike C-Rock Sirocco. Get out there and check us out and support us. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we're here for you as you go through this. If you have any questions or just want to talk, shoot me a message, man. And thank you so much, Mrs. Cardone.
Oh, you got it. Thank you.
Appreciate you. And tell Bobby we said bye too.
Oh, we will.
Thank you for being a part of the What Are You Made Of podcast. So that you don't miss future episodes, please rate and subscribe to the What Are You Made Of podcast on your favorite listening or viewing apps, and follow me on your favorite social media platforms. I would love to hear your stories and past experiences and engage with you further.